This is the new Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, and it makes a Lamborghini Urus seem more like a Lamborghini anus. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why, because I'm going to talk you through all the changes that's been made to this car, and of course, I'm going to take it for a drive and launch it. And I'll show you how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Believe me, it will blow your mind. You'll be like, pooh. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Car Wow. Let's start off this video by talking about the engine. You see, what's happened here is Porsche's let its GT division have a play with it, and they've changed the pistons, the conrods, the crankshaft, and loads of other stuff. The result is that this 4-litre twin-turbo V8 puts out 640 horsepower. Now, I know the Lamborghini fanboys will be going, well, that's 10 horsepower less than the Urus. However, in my experience, each Porsche horsepower is worth at least 1.2 Lamborghini horsepowers. Now, like the Lamborghini, this engine has 850 Newton meters of torque, and it drives all four wheels via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Later on in the video, I'm going to launch it and you'll see whether it's quicker than the Urus. It is, I'll give that away, but how much quicker? The Turbo GT is the most expensive Cayenne you can buy. It starts from £144,000. This one, with options, £160,000. Now, if you want a performance SUV for a lot less cash, click on the pop-out banner up there, or follow the link in the description, because I found one on CarWow with a great saving. As well as an extra 100 horsepower, what do you get for your extra £40,000 over a normal Cayenne Turbo? Well, carbon ceramic brakes as standard for one. You get 440mm discs up front and 410mm discs at the back. And look at these calipers, they're massive. There's 10 pistons in there. Shall we check out how good they are? Okay, I'm going to do a brake test from 60 miles an hour. Let's see what we can do. Here we go. What distance did it stop in? Oh, that's good. 32 meters. For a big heavy car like that is super impressive. To make sure that the Turbo GT stands out compared to a normal boring turbo, Porsche's tweaked the design, so it's got a more aggressive bumper with bigger air intakes. Down the side, you've got 22-inch alloy wheels in this gold paint. You also have carbon fibre door mirrors. There's a carbon fibre roof. The wheels are actually an inch wider than on a normal turbo, and we could all do with an extra inch, couldn't we? Or am I just speaking for myself? Anyway, there's some extra aero here and here. You've got a diffuser there, which probably does diffuse air because Porsche doesn't mess around and fake stuff. Speaking of which, there's no faking with these exhausts. Look at the size of them. And not only are they centre mounted, love that, they're made out of titanium. Look at the blueness. Oh, wow. It's lush. Here on the inside, the Turbo GT gets lashings of Alcantara, so you get it on the headlining, all the way down the A-pillars, on the dash with some nice goldy stitching there. You also get it here on the armrest, it's on the grab handles, once again with the stitching, on the top of the centre console there, and the seats, on the grab handles, on the gear selector, and of course, on the steering wheel. And we all know that an Alcantara steering wheel instantly makes a car feel more sporty to drive, especially if you've got a yellow dead ahead stripe on the top of it. And then there's various Cayenne GT badging. You've got it here, you've got it on the dials, you've got it on the carbon fibre kick plates, you've also got it here on the headrests of the sport seats, and oh look, we've got it embossed here on the centre console, though if you want this, that's an extra £200. There's also some carbon fibre here, and lo and behold, they've made the sports response button for this drive mode selector switch red. Okay, also one last thing, look, yeah, gold seat belts. Well, I think it's more beige in it, but yeah. As well as all the styling changes, Porsche's got its GT division to fettle this car's chassis. They've lowered the air suspension by 17mm, made it 15% stiffer. They've recalibrated the active dampers. They've changed the bushings in the front axle. They've made the rear wheel steering more aggressive to promote oversteer, and they've altered the active anti-roll bars to keep the car more upright in the bends. Okay, let's drive this Cayenne GT. So I'm just going to turn this knob here and put it into Sports Plus mode, which is maximum attack. I'm going to floor the throttle. Hell, what the have they done to this car? That is nuts. Oh, the way this engine pulls, that is just utterly insane. And the noise. Oh, it sounds so angry. What is this thing? It's an animal. Oh, I need to calm down a second, need to calm down. In fact, sod calming down, let's put it into manual mode. Some twisty road ahead, let's do it. Whoa, Thankfully, it handles well. Good job considering the speed this thing gets. Oh my gosh, the way this thing goes into corners is nuts, and the way it comes out of them is even crazier. You can tell Porsche's GT department have had their fingers in this pie, because what a machine. Right, I'm calling it now. Don't need to drive it anymore. I'm calling it. This is the best handling, most sporty SUV ever, ever, ever. Really is. I'm gonna go do that again. That is fun. It's like a GT car, it's an SUV, family car at the same time. It's nuts. Do you know what it reminds me of? It's a bit like the BMW M5 CS, where it's just on another level compared to the car on which it's based. It's crazy. I mean, how does it do this? How's it going through corners like this? Anyone who says SUVs can't be fun to drive, or those purist motoring journalists, you know, they do have a point. The raised ride height, it's not ideal, but there's something about this. This is genuine fun. Every journalist should drive this car just to recalibrate their brains as to what is possible with an SUV, because this is more fun than many sports cars that I've driven, supposed sports cars. It's absolutely awesome, and it just shows what Porsche and its GT division can do. Right, I've come to a red light, which is actually a good moment, so I can just calm down and let's see what it's like at just general driving. I'm putting it into normal. Okay, so there is still a bit of a hardish edge to the suspension, but it's not terrible. It's hard, but not harsh. It's different. It's all right, actually, for just cruising around. You can tell that it's been turned up to the max, but it's livable. And in terms of the feel that you get from it and the performance it delivers and the handling, it's a small price to pay, a slightly busier ride over bumps. Wow, this thing is just crazy. I'll tell you something else that's crazy. See, while Porsche has fitted these lovely seats here in the back, once again with the Turbo GT logo and the Alcantara on them and the Goldie stitching, for some reason they've put this tray where the middle seat is. And that brings me on to 5 annoying things about the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. This exhaust system has no centre silencer, so it sounds more fruity than the normal Cayenne Turbo's exhaust. However, you can't enjoy it when the car's stationary because there's a soft limiter. Go on, rev the car up. No, a lot of you in the comments are probably going, what you need to do, mate, is put the car into neutral and the ESP off and then rev it, and then it'll rev all the way. Let's try it again with those settings. Rev it up. See, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. These gold wheels a little bit too showy for you. Well, you can have them in some other colours. Unfortunately, Porsche will charge you for that. 400 quid. Speaking of Porsche rinsing you out for extra cash, if you want adaptive cruise control with lane keeping assist, which is standard on a Toyota Corolla, you have to pay Porsche an extra £2,000. Porsche likes to talk about the fact that this car has various technology to make it as efficient as possible, such as cylinder deactivation. However, since I've had this thing, I've averaged just 12.6 miles per gallon. Now, it's not just because I'm a bad driver. If I go to the long-term trip computer, I see over the past 3,660 miles, it's done 14.6 miles per gallon. It's a bit of a weird situation where the most expensive Cayenne is not the most powerful. A Turbo SE Hybrid has 680 horsepower, so 40 more horsepower than this. And of course, it's a lot more efficient as well. The rear visibility on this car is already pretty crap, but the rear spoiler actually extends when you're going quickly. And if you go above 70 miles an hour, it sticks up even higher, up to there. So you can't really see what's behind you. Obviously not a problem when you're on the road, but if you're on track and there's someone in something like a GT3 wanting to pass, yeah, you may never see them. Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this. Here's 5. The extra aero on the Turbo GT increases downforce by 40 kilograms. Any car that Porsche's GT division is involved in has to be capable of being thrashed on track continuously. As a result, to cope with this car's extra engine power, Porsche has had to uprate the gearbox and the four-wheel drive system. They've actually fitted the transfer case with a cooler so it doesn't overheat. This may be a big family-friendly SUV, but it has a power-to-weight ratio that matches the Cayman GT4. Speaking of which, you can get a deployable tow bar for this thing, which means you can tow your GT4 to the circuit. With a time of 7 minutes 38, this Turbo GT is 9 seconds a lap quicker than a Lamborghini Anus round the Nürburgring. Oh, that hurt my Urus. Right, it's time to launch this bad boy. Porsche's 0 to 60 will be dispatched in 3.3 seconds, but what's the reality? Specialist timing gear will reveal all. Let's do it. Classic Porsche. They lied. 3.1 seconds to 60. Now the interesting thing, I launched a Lamborghini Urus. It's supposed to do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, and I couldn't quite get it that low. With this, Porsche being Porsche, they always over-deliver in reality compared to their claim numbers. And that's why for me, Porsche is better than Lamborghini. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments below. By the way, if you want to check out my Lamborghini Urus video review, click on the pop-out banner up there to go watch it, and I take the piss out of its owner. So then, what's my final verdict on the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, if you want the sportiest SUV you can buy, you should just go right ahead and buy the Turbo GT. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you didn't, let me know in the comments below and I'll ban you from commenting on our videos in future. Click on those windows and you can watch some more videos